The auction begins. Emerges empire. In a vast, gleaming hall on a distant space station, the auction was about to begin. The hall was filled with beings from many worlds, all gathered to bid on rare and valuable items. The walls shone with soft light, and holograms danced in the air. This was not a place for ordinary events. It was the heart of the Emerges Empire, where power and wealth came together. Among the crowd, a young girl stood quietly near the front. She was only 13 years old, but her eyes sparkled with determination and knowledge far beyond her age. Her name was Aria. Even though many doubted her because of her youth, Aria had spent countless hours studying the art of auctions and learning about the secrets of space travel. Today she was here with a goal that many thought impossible: to win a bid on the most expensive and advanced ship at the auction. The auctioneer, a tall figure with a deep, echoing voice, stepped forward on a raised platform. "Welcome, honored guests, to the greatest auction in the galaxy," he announced. His voice filled every corner of the hall. "Today we offer treasures from the far reaches of space. Let your bids reflect your desire for greatness." Aria listened carefully as the auctioneer explained the rules. Every bid would be placed using a small digital device. The bids would then appear on large screens for everyone to see. This method ensured that every offer was fair and transparent. As the auctioneer spoke, Aria's mind raced with plans. She knew that every detail could help her make the right move at the right time. The first few items were small trinkets and ancient artifacts from lost worlds. Many powerful beings competed for these treasures, and the bids rose quickly. Aria stood back and watched closely. She studied the patterns of bidding, the hesitation of the opponents, and the confidence in their voices. These early moments taught her much about the art of negotiation and risk. As the auction moved on, the atmosphere grew more tense. Holograms showed ships that glittered like diamonds in space and weapons that could change the fate of entire planets. But one item had everyone's attention: a luxury ship known only as the Sovereign. Rumors said that it was built by the ancient masters of space travel. It was not just a ship, it was a piece of art and a marvel of engineering. The ship had a sleek design, and its engine could travel faster than the speed of light. Yet, some whispered that it was more than it seemed, a trap set by unknown forces of the Galactic Empire. The room fell silent as the auctioneer introduced the Sovereign. "Behold, the crown jewel of today's collection," he declared, "a masterpiece that promises power and mystery. Let the bidding commence." The words sent a ripple of excitement through the crowd. Aria felt her heart beat faster. She knew that this was her moment. Though many believed that a ship of such value was meant for the richest and most powerful, she was determined to prove that age was no barrier to greatness. Quietly, she activated her digital device. Her fingers trembled slightly, but her eyes remained focused. As the bidding began, the numbers on the screen began to climb. Rich and influential figures from across the galaxy started to offer large amounts. Each new bid made the price soar higher. Aria watched, calculating her moves carefully. She had saved a small fortune in credits, money that she had earned by working hard and learning the secrets of trade in the dark corners of the galaxy. Time passed slowly as the auction progressed. The tension in the hall grew thicker with every new bid. Aria's heart pounded, not with fear, but with a clear sense of purpose. She knew that every bid counted, and she needed to be brave. The empire that ruled this place was strong and often unpredictable. There were many hidden rules and secrets in the game of power. When the bidding reached a level that made many hesitate, Aria took a deep breath. In a moment of quiet courage, she pressed the button on her device to place her bid. The screen flashed her number. For a few long seconds, silence reigned in the hall. The powerful bidders exchanged looks of disbelief. How could a 13-year-old girl have the nerve to challenge them? The auctioneer's deep voice broke the silence. "A surprising bid from a young participant," he said slowly, his tone mixed with respect and curiosity. "We now have a bid from the prodigy area. Do any others wish to challenge?" His words echoed through the hall as the remaining bidders paused. Arya stood firm, her eyes steady and clear. Though many around her doubted her ability, she trusted in her careful planning and knowledge. The numbers on the screen flickered, and for a moment, the hall seemed to hold its breath. The Empire's power was at work here, and every action was watched by many hidden eyes. In that tense moment, it was not just about a ship. It was about proving that even the smallest among them could change the course of history. As the final seconds of the bidding clock ticked away, the room braced for the next move. The challenge was set, and the stakes were higher than ever before. The auction had just begun, but already the seeds of a great adventure were planted. Arya's bid was a spark that promised to ignite an event that would soon reveal hidden traps and secret powers. The Emerge's Empire had shown its strength today, but it was also about to witness the courage of a young heart, determined to change the future of the galaxy. With the bid placed, the stage was set for an extraordinary journey, one that would lead Arya into the heart of danger and mystery. The auction was not only a contest of wealth and power, but also a test of spirit and determination. And in that moment, in the grand hall of the Emerge's Empire, a legend was quietly born. The big win. The atmosphere in the grand hall grew even more electric as the bidding for the Sovereign reached its peak. The digital screens flickered with ever-rising numbers, and the murmurs of the crowd became louder. Arya, still standing firm at her bidding station, watched the numbers climb with focused determination. Every bid felt like a step deeper into an unknown journey, and she knew this moment would change everything. The powerful bidders, many of whom had been present at countless auctions, now found themselves challenged by a young girl. Their confident faces showed surprise and a hint of respect. The auctioneer's deep, resonant voice filled the hall once more. A bid from Arya. A bold move from a prodigy. Who will challenge this daring offer? For a moment, silence settled over the room. The established figures exchanged glances, their eyes narrowing as they considered their next move. The unexpected bid from someone so young was a rare event in the Emerge's Empire, a moment that would be remembered for years to come. Arya felt a surge of adrenaline. Her heart pounded, but her hands were steady. She had spent many long nights preparing for this moment, learning every trick of the trade and understanding the risks of the game. Now, with the eyes of the Empire upon her, she was determined not to back down. As the bidding war resumed, a renowned collector from a distant planet stepped forward. His voice was confident as he pressed his button, and the bid on the screen jumped higher. The challenge was clear. He was not going to let a mere child win the prize ship. The crowd leaned in, watching every move, wondering if the young prodigy would be overwhelmed by the might of his wealth. Yet, Arya had anticipated this. She had learned that every opponent had a moment of hesitation hidden behind their bravado. With careful timing, she pushed her button once more. The new number flashed across the screen, a clear signal that she was still in the game. The collector's confident smile faltered for just an instant. The auctioneer's voice returned, resonating with both excitement and disbelief. Another remarkable bid by Arya. It appears our young prodigy is matching the mightiest offers in the room. A ripple of whispers moved through the hall. Some said it was pure luck, while others believed there was something extraordinary about her. In that moment, the auction was no longer just about wealth or power. It had become a contest of will, strategy, and unexpected talent. Just as the tension reached its peak, the screens flashed a sudden, unexpected message. A short, mysterious signal appeared. Warning. Anomaly detected. The words hung in the air like a shadow over the proceedings. For a split second, all the attention shifted from the bidding to this ominous notice. Was it a malfunction, or was there something hidden in the ship that no one had yet seen? The auctioneer paused, his deep voice steady as he addressed the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. The system is checking for any errors. Continue with your bids. Despite his attempt to reassure everyone, the mysterious message had stirred a wave of uncertainty. Eyes darted around, and hushed conversations began among the bidders. Arya felt a chill run down her spine, But she did not falter. Instead, she saw the strange signal as another challenge, a secret message meant only for those who dared to defy the norm. Her determination hardened. She knew that winning the auction was not only about obtaining a great ship, but also about unraveling the mystery behind this signal. The bidding resumed with renewed intensity. Each bid felt like a statement, a refusal to be scared by unknown forces. As the numbers climbed higher than ever before, it became clear that the stakes had grown far beyond money. They were now fighting for the honor of exploring and owning a ship that held secrets from the ancient masters of space travel. With every press of her bidding button, Aria not only raised the stakes financially, but also symbolically challenged the very powers that governed the Empire. The silence that followed each bid was filled with anticipation and wonder. Every spectator, whether rich or powerful, sensed that something incredible was unfolding before their eyes. In a final decisive moment, when the highest bidder hesitated for just a moment too long, Aria pressed her button once more. The digital device confirmed her bid with a soft chime, and the screen showed her final, winning number. The room exploded into a mix of shock, applause, and murmurs of disbelief. The auctioneer's voice, now filled with both admiration and a trace of astonishment, declared, "Sold. The luxury ship the Sovereign is now under the ownership of Aria, the prodigy of our time." A wave of excitement swept through the hall. For some, it was the joy of witnessing the underdog triumph against the odds. For others, it was the thrill of seeing an ordinary auction transform into an event that would be talked about for generations. Yet, amid the celebration, the mysterious warning still lingered in the minds of many. What did the signal mean? Had it been a deliberate test, or was it a warning of dangers yet to come? Aria took a deep breath as she stepped away from the bidding table. The reality of her win began to settle in. She now held the key to a vessel of ancient wonder and possible danger. While the crowd buzzed with excitement and questions, she quietly resolved to uncover the truth behind the enigmatic signal. The victory was hers, but the journey had only just begun. In that moment of triumph and uncertainty, the entire hall seemed to pulse with the promise of an adventure that would stretch far beyond the boundaries of the auction room. Aria's win was not just a financial success. It was a bold step into a world filled with hidden traps, secret powers, and a destiny that awaited a brave soul. The big win had been achieved, but the real challenge, the mystery of the trap, now beckoned, and Aria prepared herself for what was to come. Unboxing the luxury ship. After the heated auction, the crowd slowly dispersed from the grand hall, leaving behind a buzz of whispered rumors and lingering questions. Meanwhile, Aria was gently escorted to a private docking bay, where her new prize awaited her, the luxury ship known as the Sovereign. The bay was quiet and softly lit, a stark contrast to the bustling atmosphere of the auction. Here, under the watchful eyes of a few trusted assistants, Aria began the process of unboxing the mysterious vessel. The ship was stored in a large, sealed container made of a material that shimmered like starlight. It was a container that spoke of high technology and ancient craftsmanship. Aria stood before it, her heart beating with a mix of excitement and caution. With careful hands, she activated the ship's release mechanism. A low hum filled the air as the container's panel slid open, revealing the sleek silhouette of the Sovereign for the first time. The ship's exterior was smooth and elegant, with curved lines that gave it a futuristic look. The metal shone with a soft glow, as if it absorbed light from distant stars. Even at a young age, Aria could sense that this was no ordinary vessel. Its design was both artistic and functional, built for speed and grace in the vast reaches of space. Every detail was perfect, from the streamlined body to the intricate patterns etched along its hull. As Aria stepped closer, she noticed small, subtle markings near the entrance of the ship. They were not random engravings, but seemed to be part of a hidden language or code. Although the symbols were foreign to her, they hinted at secrets locked within the ship's history. Aria carefully documented each marking, planning to study them later. These clues made her wonder if the ship was not only a vessel for travel, but also a message from a long-forgotten civilization. Inside the ship, the environment was surprisingly calm and inviting. Soft blue lights lit the corridors, and the air smelled faintly of clean metal and space dust. The interior design was a blend of modern technology and classical art, with panels of smooth glass and walls that displayed holographic images of past journeys. Arya walked slowly along the main corridor, her footsteps echoing softly. She marveled at the advanced control systems and comfortable seating that lined the command deck. At the heart of the ship in the central chamber, a large display panel illuminated the room with detailed charts and star maps. This control center was designed for long voyages, and every switch and button was placed with purpose. Arya's eyes widened at the sight of what she believed was an intricate security system. It seemed almost alive, with circuits that pulsed rhythmically. There was a faint glow around one particular console, drawing her attention. It was as if the ship was trying to communicate a warning or a secret message. Curiosity growing stronger, Arya approached the console. Her fingers brushed against its surface, and for a moment, the holographic display changed. Strange symbols danced across the screen, and the room's light shifted subtly. It was a sign that there was more to this ship than met the eye. The mystery that had started at the auction was now deep inside the vessel. With each passing moment, the ship revealed hints of an ancient trap, a hidden design meant to catch those who were unprepared. Outside, the quiet hum of the docking bay filled the space as Arya continued her inspection. She found a small room tucked away behind the control center. The room was dark except for a single beam of light shining on a small sealed compartment. Inside, a series of old documents and blueprints lay neatly stacked. Arya picked one up, her eyes scanning the simple diagrams and notes. They told a story of a once great space traveler who had hidden important warnings within the design of the ship. The blueprints suggested that the ship was equipped with secret mechanisms, not all of which were meant for safe travel. Arya felt a chill of concern mixed with excitement. She realized that winning the auction was only the first step in a larger, more dangerous journey. The clues around her, the markings, the unusual glow at the console, and the hidden documents pointed toward a trap set by unknown forces. The ship was both a masterpiece and a puzzle, waiting for someone brave enough to unlock its secrets. In the quiet of the docking bay, Arya sat down at the control panel and began to study the blueprints more closely. Her mind worked quickly, connecting the symbols on the ship's exterior with the diagrams in the documents. Every new discovery added layers to the mystery. Was the trap designed to protect something valuable, or was it a warning against a threat long forgotten? She did not yet have the answers, but one thing was clear. The ship was more than just a luxury vessel. It was a gateway to a dangerous, hidden past. With her heart set on uncovering the truth, Arya made a promise to herself. She would learn every secret that the Sovereign held, even if it meant risking everything. The unboxing of the ship was not the end of her adventure, but the beginning of a long quest that would take her deep into the unknown corners of the galaxy. And so, in that quiet, softly lit bay, a young prodigy prepared for the challenges ahead, determined to turn every mystery into a step toward a brighter future. The trap is set. After exploring the beautiful and mysterious ship, Arya decided to look deeper into its secrets. She walked slowly through the corridors, the soft blue lights guiding her path. The ship, the Sovereign, was not just a work of art. It was built with hidden layers and secret designs. As she moved from one room to another, she began to notice small details that did not fit with the ship's elegant appearance. In a narrow hallway behind the main control center, Arya found a door that looked older than the rest of the ship. The door had a series of strange symbols carved into its metal frame. These symbols were similar to the ones she had seen on the ship's exterior, but here they seemed to tell a story. With a steady hand, she pressed the symbols in a certain order, as if following instructions hidden in her mind. Slowly, the door opened with a quiet hiss. Inside, The room was dim and filled with old panels and wires. Dust motes floated in the soft light coming from a single overhead lamp. On a workbench lay several pieces of equipment, blueprints, and a small notebook. Arya carefully picked up the notebook and read its faded words. It spoke of a secret mechanism built into the ship, a trap designed to activate under certain conditions. The notebook explained that the trap was meant to protect a powerful secret, something that many would kill to keep hidden. Arya's heart began to pound as she studied the blueprints. They revealed a hidden network of sensors and triggers built into the ship's structure. In a clear, simple language, the blueprints warned that if the ship was taken by someone unworthy, or if certain conditions were met, the trap would activate. The trap could lock down the entire vessel, disable its systems, and even alert hostile forces from far away. As she went through the details, a cold thought crept into Arya's mind. The trap was not meant to harm the ship's owner, but to protect a secret so dangerous that it needed to be guarded at all costs. The young prodigy felt a mixture of excitement and fear. She realized that winning the auction had given her not only a magnificent ship, but also a dangerous puzzle that could put her in great peril. Determined to understand more, Arya returned to the main chamber of the ship and approached the large display panel. The panel now showed an array of symbols and diagrams, as if it were trying to tell her more about the trap. The control panel's lights flickered softly, and a new message appeared. Security protocol active. Verification required. The message sent a shiver down her spine. This was the trap's way of confirming that its secrets were being tampered with. Arya took a deep breath and examined the control panel carefully. She noticed that some parts of the system were isolated from the rest of the ship's network. It seemed that the designers had built in layers of protection. With her simple tools and careful study, she began to trace the wiring and follow the path laid out in the blueprints. Every step revealed more evidence of the trap's complexity. A maze of circuits, hidden switches, and encrypted commands. While she worked, the quiet hum of the ship grew louder, as if the vessel itself was becoming aware of her actions. The lights in the corridor dimmed momentarily and then returned to their usual glow. Arya paused, her ears straining to catch any unusual sound. Was the ship reacting to her exploration, or was it simply a quirk of its old systems? She could not be sure, but the feeling of being watched made her more alert. As she connected more of the clues from the notebook and the blueprints, a clear picture began to form in her mind. The trap was set to activate if someone tried to bypass its security, or if the ship was used for a purpose that was not intended by its creators. The notebook mentioned a final safeguard, a hidden trigger that, once activated, would lock the ship and send a distress signal to unknown forces. This was the trap's ultimate defense, ensuring that the secret within the ship would never be exposed. Arya realized that the trap was not merely a defensive measure. It was a test of worthiness. It challenged the owner of the ship to prove that they were clever and brave enough to control its hidden powers. The thought both thrilled and troubled her. She had always known that there was more to the Sovereign than met the eye, but now she understood that every part of the ship was designed with a purpose. The trap was both a guardian and a warning. Her mind raced with questions. Who were the original builders of the ship? What secret were they protecting? And most importantly, how would she, a young and determined prodigy, manage to disable the trap if it ever activated? Even though she felt a surge of fear, she also felt a strong desire to learn and to prove her worth. She knew that the journey ahead would be full of challenges, but she was ready to face them. As she closed the notebook and looked around the room, Arya felt that the ship was speaking directly to her. Every hidden door, every coded message, and every subtle detail was a part of a larger story, a story that she was now an essential part of. The trap was set, not only to protect a secret, but also to test her resolve. With determination in her eyes, she vowed to unlock the mysteries of the Sovereign and to master the secrets that lay within. In that quiet, secret room, the trap had been revealed, and with it, a promise of danger and discovery. Arya knew that the real adventure was just beginning. A race against time. With the secrets of the trap now partially revealed, Aria realized that every minute counted. The hidden mechanisms of the Sovereign were more complex than she had first thought, and she knew that if the trap activated, there might be no chance to stop it. A cold determination set in as she quickly gathered her tools and began working on a plan. Aria returned to the main control center. The large display panel, which had once shown a series of mysterious symbols, now displayed urgent messages. The words, "Warning, Security Protocol Activated," flashed repeatedly, accompanied by a slowly ticking countdown. It was clear that the trap was moving toward full activation. The young prodigy knew she had to act fast. In a quiet corner of the ship's control room, Aria found a hidden panel behind a row of buttons. Using the blueprints and notes she had discovered earlier, she carefully examined the wiring and circuits. The schematics showed that this panel was connected directly to the trap's central system. If she could disable it here, she might be able to prevent the trap from locking down the entire ship. Just then, a soft beep sounded from her portable device. A message had come through. It was from a mentor she had met during her studies in space technology. The mentor, known only as Mr. Hayes, had offered advice and guidance whenever Aria was in trouble. His message read, "Focus on the red wires. They control the final trigger. You must disconnect them before the timer runs out." His words gave her a clear direction, and she felt a surge of hope. Her fingers moved quickly, following Mr. Hayes' advice. With steady hands, Aria used a small tool to carefully disconnect the red wires. The seconds ticked by, each one filled with both fear and determination. The digital timer on the panel continued its countdown, and the soft hum of the ship's systems grew louder as the trap neared full activation. Suddenly, the countdown halted for a moment, then resumed at a slower pace. Aria exhaled in relief. It seemed that her actions had bought her some time. However, she knew that this was only a temporary measure. The ship's trap was designed to reset itself and try again if it sensed any interference. She had to find a more permanent solution, and quickly. At that moment, the main door of the control room slid open, and in walked a tall, experienced technician. He introduced himself as Joran, a loyal servant of the Emerges Empire who had once worked on advanced security systems. He had been sent by the Empire to assist with the unusual activity aboard the ship. With calm expertise, Joran began to analyze the system alongside Aria. Together, they studied the intricate network of circuits and sensors. Joran explained in simple words, "This trap is a safeguard. It was built to keep something very dangerous hidden away. By slowing down the timer, you've given us a chance to rewire the system. But we must act fast before the trap resets fully." His presence was reassuring, and his clear instructions helped Aria focus on the task at hand. Working side by side, Aria and Joran dove into the wiring system. They used basic tools to bypass certain circuits and reprogram parts of the control panel. Every adjustment was made carefully, for one wrong move could trigger the trap for real. The sound of their tools clicking and the soft beep of the control panel filled the room as they raced against time. The countdown on the display was now down to just a few minutes. With determination in her eyes, Aria followed the final instructions that Mr. Hayes had sent. Joran monitored the system closely, ready to guide her through any further complications. Their combined efforts began to show progress. The system's erratic messages started to stabilize, and the timer slowed even further. In a climactic moment, the panel displayed a new message: "Override successful. Trap deactivated." The countdown stopped, and the urgent beeping quieted to a soft hum. Both Aria and Joran let out deep breaths of relief. They had managed to halt the trap's activation just in time. Even though the immediate danger was over, Aria knew that this was only the beginning of her journey. The trap had been a test of her skill, courage, and ability to work under pressure. More importantly, it had shown her that there was a hidden war of secrets within the ship, one that would challenge her further as she uncovered its mysteries. With the trap temporarily deactivated, Aria and Joran began to plan their next move. They needed to understand who had built the trap, what secret it was protecting, and why it was set to challenge anyone who dared to claim the ship. Their minds were filled with questions, and the answers seemed to lie deeper within the Sovereign. As the ship's systems returned to a calmer state, Aria's determination grew stronger. She was ready to face the next challenge, knowing that every second saved had brought her closer to the truth. The race against time had tested her limits, and she had proven that even at 13, she could hold her own in a dangerous game. Now, with the trap deactivated and her resolve hardened, Aria prepared to venture further into the ship's hidden depths, ready to confront the secrets that lay ahead. Uncovering the secret. With the trap now deactivated, Aria and Joran turned their attention to the deeper mysteries hidden within the Sovereign. The quiet hum of the ship filled the air as they moved into a secluded section of the vessel. Here, the corridors were less polished and seemed to belong to an older era of the ship's design. The walls were lined with faded panels and hidden compartments that had not been activated for many years. It was clear that the ship held secrets that even its current owners had not uncovered. Aria carefully opened one of the small compartments behind a row of old control panels. Inside, she found a collection of documents, maps, and handwritten notes. The papers were delicate and had traces of ancient ink, hinting that they were made by the original builders of the ship. One note, in simple language, described a long-forgotten war between powerful galactic forces. It explained that the ship was built not only as a luxury vessel, but as a secret weapon meant to guard a powerful truth. The builders had hidden clues within the ship so that only the worthy could learn the full story. Joran pointed to a detailed diagram on one of the pages. "This shows a hidden core in the ship," he said softly. "It seems that the trap was set to protect that core. It is said to hold a secret that could change the balance of power in the galaxy." Aria studied the diagram carefully, noticing symbols that matched those she had seen on the exterior of the ship. Every detail fit into a larger puzzle. The more she read, the more she realized that the ship's trap was not meant to harm, but to test the resolve of its owner. The duo moved deeper into the ship, following clues from the documents. Their path led them to a long, narrow passageway that ended at a massive, sealed door. The door was adorned with intricate carvings and glowing symbols that pulsed in a slow, rhythmic beat. Aria felt a chill as she placed her hand on the door's smooth surface, feeling as if the ship was alive and aware of her presence. Using the diagrams as her guide, Aria discovered a hidden panel beside the door. With a gentle press, she activated a sequence that slowly began to open the heavy door. The sound of ancient gears turning echoed in the quiet space, and a soft light emerged from the gap. As the door swung open, it revealed a secret chamber that looked almost like a sanctuary. Inside the chamber, a large, circular console dominated the room. At the center of the console was a brilliant crystal that shone with an inner light. Surrounding the crystal were various artifacts and devices, each marked with the same symbols found on the ship's exterior and in the documents. The room seemed to breathe history and power, as if it held the memory of a lost era. Aria stepped forward slowly, her eyes fixed on the glowing crystal. Joran joined her, his expression a mix of awe and careful curiosity. The crystal pulsed gently, and as Aria reached out, a series of simple images and words began to appear on a nearby holographic screen. The images told the story of an ancient alliance of beings who had once ruled the galaxy. They had created the ship as a vessel of peace and power, intended to guard a secret that could restore balance in times of chaos. The hologram revealed that the secret was not merely a weapon or a tool, but a message, a call for unity among different worlds against the tyranny of a forgotten enemy. The ship, with its intricate trap and hidden chamber, was built to test anyone who sought to unlock this message. Only those with wisdom, courage, and a true desire for peace would be able to piece together the clues. Aria listened intently as the images unfolded. She saw scenes of ancient battles, moments of hope, and the forging of alliances between beings from many worlds. The message was clear. The true strength of the galaxy lay in unity, not in power or wealth. For a moment, the weight of her task pressed upon her young shoulders. She understood that she was now part of a story that was much bigger than she had ever imagined. In that quiet chamber, with the soft glow of the crystal lighting her determined face, Aria made a silent promise. She would honor the legacy of those who had built the ship and protect the secret message that could one day bring peace to a divided galaxy. Joran placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder as they both realized that their journey was far from over. The secret had been uncovered, but the challenge of sharing its message and protecting it from those who would misuse it lay ahead. The discovery left them both filled with a sense of purpose and urgency. Aria's heart, once filled with the thrill of winning an auction, now beat with the steady rhythm of destiny. With the ancient secret revealed, she prepared to face the final challenges that would test her resolve, knowing that every step brought her closer to a future where the true power of unity could shine across the stars. The final stand and new beginning. The glow of the crystal pulsed steadily, casting soft light across the chamber as Aria and Joran stood before it. The secret of the Sovereign had been uncovered, but the real challenge had only begun. Aria now knew the ship was not just a luxurious vessel. It was a symbol, a relic of an ancient alliance that had sought peace in a war-torn galaxy. But with such knowledge came danger. If the wrong forces learned of this, they would stop at nothing to claim the ship and its secrets for themselves. A sudden, sharp alarm cut through the silence. The holographic display flickered, and a warning appeared. Unauthorized signal detected. Incoming hostiles. Aria's heart skipped a beat. The trap may have been disabled, but someone, possibly one of the rival bidders from the auction, had been monitoring the ship. They had likely sensed the moment she accessed the hidden chamber. Joran's face darkened. "They're coming for the ship," he said grimly. Without hesitation, Aria ran back toward the control deck. Her fingers flew over the panel, activating the ship's defense protocols. The outer hull shields powered up just as an explosion shook the docking bay. Through the ship's external cameras, Aria could see a group of armored figures forcing their way through the docking entrance. Their insignia was unmistakable, mercenaries hired by the Galactic elites who had lost the auction. Joran moved to the weapons console. "We have to get out of here before they breach the ship." Aria nodded, her mind racing. The Sovereign had advanced technology, but it had been dormant for years. Would it even fly? There was no time to second-guess. With a deep breath, she activated the engines. A low, powerful hum vibrated through the ship as the systems came to life. The control panel flickered for a moment, then stabilized. A new message appeared. "Primary system restored. Awaiting command." Aria didn't hesitate. "Launch sequence. Engage." Outside, the mercenaries fired at the ship's hull, but the newly activated shields held strong. The Sovereign began to rise, its sleek form lifting effortlessly from the docking bay. The mercenaries scrambled to board their own ships, realizing too late that their target was slipping away. As soon as they cleared the station, enemy ships locked onto them. A squad of sleek fighters moved in pursuit, their weapons charging. "They're not letting us leave that easily," Joran muttered. Aria's hands gripped the controls. This was her moment. The ship had chosen her, and now she would prove she was worthy. Activating the ancient ship's maneuvering system, she pushed the throttle forward. The Sovereign shot into high-speed flight, twisting and darting through the asteroid fields surrounding the station. The enemy fighters followed, but Aria had something they didn't: the ship's hidden enhancements. Her eyes flicked to a flashing option on the control screen. Hyperlight jump. Coordinates unknown. Engage. She didn't have time to calculate a safe jump. It was a risk, but staying here was a bigger one. "Hold on," she shouted. She slammed the command button, and in an instant, the Sovereign glowed with an energy unlike anything seen in modern starships. The engines roared, and the ship vanished into the depths of space, leaving the mercenaries behind in stunned silence. When the ship finally stabilized, Aria checked their coordinates. They had jumped far beyond the known territories, into uncharted space. The stars outside the viewport shone brighter, untouched and full of mystery. Joran exhaled. That was insane. Arya smiled, her hands finally relaxing on the controls. We made it. But she knew this was only the beginning. The Sovereign had taken them to a new place, one that likely held more secrets, more adventures. She had gone from a young girl at an auction to the guardian of something far greater. As she looked out at the endless galaxy ahead, she whispered to herself, "Let's see where this journey takes us." And with that, the Sovereign and its young captain set off toward an unknown future, where the fate of the galaxy might one day rest in her hands.